Welcome to the dark-soaked world of Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, a game that takes you on a gothic journey filled with revenge, bloodlust, and existential dread. Released in 1996 by Silicon Knights, this action-adventure RPG was a bold step into mature storytelling and atmospheric design.
There is a magical operation of maximum importance, the initiation of a new aeon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood.
Call your dogs! They can feast on your corpses!
For fulfilling the circle, Malek of the Sun, you are hereby damned. The pleasures of the flesh are no longer yours. You have but one purpose, damned one. You will serve us for eternity.
Tavern's closing. Best be on your way, stranger.
What? No mug of ale for a weary traveller from distant Corhagen? I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood.
I stay open for no man in these dark times. Things come with the night that no sane man would welcome.
And so I left, cold of heart and soul, forced to the road and the long, bitter night.
Our story begins with Kain, a nobleman ambushed and murdered outside of a tavern. His brutal death sets the tone for the game's bleak, violent, and unapologetic nature. Offered a chance at vengeance, Kain is resurrected as a vampire by the necromancer Mortanius. But this isn't the glamorous vampire mythos of modern media. Kain's vampirism is a curse, a constant reminder of his undead state.
Victus, suffering to the conquered. Ironic that now I was the one suffering. Not anything as pedestrian as physical pain, rather the cruel jab of impotent anger. The hunger for revenge. I didn't care if I was in heaven or hell. All I wanted was to kill my assassins. Sometimes you get what you wish for. The necromancer Mortanius offered me a chance for vengeance, and like a fool, I jumped at his offer without considering the cost. Nothing is free, not even revenge.
You will have the blood you hunger for.
I awoke to the pain of a new existence. in a dank womb of darkness and decay.
The game wastes no time immersing you into its grim world. As Kain awakens, disoriented and driven by the thirst for revenge, you take your first steps into the tomb, a claustrophobic labyrinth filled with the shadows of decay. Right away, the tomb establishes its tone. It's dark, eerie, and oppressive. The air feels heavy, and the distant sounds of the crypt echo in your ears. The only source of light, the faint supernatural glow of Kain's vampiric presence. As you explore, the game teaches you the basics of combat, feeding, and the importance of managing your health. Every encounter is a delicate balance. Drain too much blood, and your enemies fall before you can feed. Leave them alive, and you risk your own survival.
Janos Audron, the heart of darkness, restores vampiric unlife. Life is precious, Janos discovered, as it was torn, throbbing and bleeding from his own body.
The tomb isn't just a straightforward path. It's a test of wit and patience. Every puzzle forces you to think, from pulling switches to opening gates. The moments remind you that Nosgoth isn't just a world of brute strength. It's a realm where intellect can be just as important as power. Every solved puzzle is a small triumph, a momentary relief from the suffocating darkness.
This ancient vial bears with it a dark gift indeed, for with it my life force is increased. These ancient symbols of power contain raw magical energy that increases my own capacity to summon energy for the spawning of spells. The world had changed to my eyes. I had not expected such cruelty from the light. For in the embrace of the sun I could find no comfort, only malice. This would change in time for the worse, along with other things. When rainfall comes, vampires are wise to find shelter from its acidic touch.
After winding through the tomb's oppressive corridors, you finally emerge to the open air. The world of Nosgoth stretches before you, cold and unwelcoming. But for Kain, there's no turning back. His path is set, and the darkness within him hungers for revenge. The tomb and graveyard are more than just an introduction. It's a microcosm of Kain's journey. Darkness, struggle, and the faintest glimmer of freedom, tainted by the curse he carries. It's a powerful start to a story that only grows darker from here.
Hunger and weakness are no bar to vengeance's call. I would find my slayers and send them back whence I came.
With the tomb behind us, Nosgoth awaits. The land is vast, the journey perilous, and the price of vengeance steep. But for Kain, there is no price too high. After all, he's already paid with his humanity.
What trickery is this?
Hammer-seeker, if we put you down once, we could do it again.
Their sneering faces were forever etched upon my memory. I had crossed death for this moment. My mind was empty save for one thought. I would kill.
There is no greater release than that from vengeance sated. With my assassins dead, my quest was over.
Nosgoth isn't your typical fantasy setting. It's not lush or inviting. It's bleak, oppressive, and dripping with gothic atmosphere. Every tree seems twisted in agony, every building worn by centuries of neglect. The land feels as though it's actively suffering, weighed down by an ancient, unspoken sin. However, even in its desolation, Nosgoth has a strange beauty to it. The world is alive in its decay, a haunting tapestry of crumbling structures, foggy swamps, and shadowed forests. The environment doesn't just serve as a backdrop, it tells a story of a once thriving land, now teetering on the brink of ruin. It's the perfect setting for Kain's journey, a vampire who embodies the same themes of corruption and loss.
This was where the bloody deed of my murder took place. I would not be kind to the denizens that lurk here. They would taste my steel, and I their blood.
Stepping into the place of Kain's murder, we now walk these streets as a vampire. Kain confronts the haunting memory of his death and the betrayal that brought him here. The villagers' fear of him now feels like karmic retribution, and every drop of blood he takes is both for survival and vengeance. This place serves as a stark reminder of who he once was and how far he's fallen. Leaving the village behind, Kain sheds the last remnants of his humanity, fully embracing the predator Nosgoth now demands him to be.
The necromancer had offered me no warning as to what my resurrection would entail, and yet I must confess in my haste I had not sought one. Was his gift a curse? I would seek the pillars for an answer.
With vengeance burning in his heart and the hunger of his curse driving him forward, Kain sets his sights on the pillars of Nosgoth. These ancient monuments, shrouded in mystery and power, are said to be the heart of the land, key to its balance and perhaps the answers he seeks. Kain's journey is fraught with danger, but it's also driven by a newfound purpose. No longer content to wander aimlessly, he presses onward, determined to uncover the truth of his fate and the forces that have shaped it. The pillars rise in the distance, a beacon calling to him, both a symbol of hope and a harbinger of the trials to come.
Napraptor, your madness has shattered our dreams and blinded you.
Keep your distance, or I'll send you back to hell, spirit!
There is nothing left of me to fear, vampire. I'm only a shadow of my former self, Aaron, the balance of the Circle of Nine. Even so, I can provide the answers you seek.
I seek only a cure.
There is no cure for death, only release. You must destroy the sorcery that is now poisoning Nosgoth. Only then will you realize peace. The Nine of the Protectors of Hope were sworn to use their powers to preserve our world. Now these pillars have been corrupted by a traitor. My murder at the hands of this beast drove my love Napraptor mad. Now he spreads misery and pain among the Circle, crumbling the very foundation of Nosgoth. You must restore balance. You must right the pillars of Nosgoth.
I care not for the fate of this world.
Then for yourself, Kain. Beware the unspoken.
Napraptor, with his blind act of vengeance, threatened to destroy all of Nosgoth. Each Circle member was bonded to the pillar he served. The pillars reflected the mental state of their servants, and as the minds of the Circle degenerated and descended farther into dementia, the pillars crumbled. To restore them, each member of the Circle had to die, and the artifact that served as their link to the pillar had to be returned. Only when all the pillars were restored did Ariel claim my curse would end. And so, my hunt for Napraptor began.
With his path now clear, Kain learns the truth of Nosgoth's plight. The pillars, the ancient structures that once maintained the balance of the land, are corrupted. To restore them, Kain must confront and eliminate their defiled guardians. But he's no fool. This is no simple task. The guardians are powerful, and Kain must grow stronger to succeed. Before taking on his targets, Kain must gather the tools and powers necessary to tip the scales in his favor. Scattered across Nosgoth are ancient relics and forgotten magics that grant him new abilities and transformations that will allow him to move unseen, pass through barriers, and strike with devastating force. These transformations aren't just practical. They reflect Kain's descent deeper into his vampiric nature. Each power comes at a cost, pulling him further away from his humanity and solidifying his role as Nosgoth's dark savior. But Kain doesn't balk at this. To restore the pillars, he's willing to embrace the monster within. Magic is a crucial tool in Kain's arsenal, allowing him to wield devastating power and manipulate the world around him. From hurling projectiles to summoning shields of energy, his spells give him an edge in battle and offer creative solutions to the challenges he faces. Magic also serves as a reminder of Kain's supernatural nature. His growing mastery over these dark forces mirrors his evolution into a creature of immense power. Each spell is both a weapon and a symbol of his transformation, reinforcing that Kain is no longer bound by mortal limitations. Scattered across Nosgoth are the mysterious blood fountains, ancient structures that pulse with dark, otherworldly energy. As Kain drinks from these crimson springs, he feels his vampiric power surge, strengthening his body and enhancing his abilities. These fountains are more than just sources of raw strength. They are a testament to Nosgoth's twisted balance, offering sustenance to a predator while deepening his connection to the dark forces that rule the land. Each fountain visited brings Kain closer to the ultimate predator he's destined to become, preparing him for the trials that lie ahead.
Nopraptor's keep lay west of Vassabunt. I would seek to cut the cancer from its heart.
Kain's journey truly begins at Nopraptor's retreat, the foreboding fortress of the deranged Mind Guardian. This twisted labyrinth is a reflection of its master's shattered psyche, filled with winding corridors, dangerous traps, and grotesque enemies that challenge Kain at every turn. The retreat's oppressive atmosphere is palpable. Its walls pulse with a sickly energy, and the air feels heavy with madness. As Kain navigates the dungeon, his determination is tested, but so too are his growing powers. Nopraptor's retreat isn't just a physical challenge. It's a glimpse into the corruption that plagues Nosgoth, and a grim reminder of what lies ahead in Kain's quest to restore the Pillars. The dungeon itself is a maze of traps and enemies designed to disorient and test Kain's resolve. From swinging blades to hidden pressure plates, every step forward feels like a gamble. The enemies within are grotesque, twisted reflection of Nopraptor's fractured mind, lashing out with a mix of savagery and despair. Beyond brute strength, Nopraptor's retreat demands cunning. Ancient puzzles bar Kain's progress, forcing him to carefully study his surroundings and utilize the full range of his abilities. These moments remind us that Kain's journey is as much about intellect as it is about power.
I came upon one of Nopraptor's serving girls, catatonic with fear, choking out half words through bloodied, broken teeth. Although tempted by hunger, I stayed my hand, allowing her to tell her story. She spoke of her lord Nopraptor, driven to insanity by the brutal slaying of his beloved Ariel. She spoke of his self-mutilation, sewing his eyes and lips shut to deny the outside world. Fueled by despair and hopelessness, he turned his magic on the circle, infecting their minds with his madness. Nopraptor cared for nothing now, save his pathetic self-pity. Scars such as hers would never heal. Death would only be a mercy.
The deeper Kain delves, the more the retreat reflects Nopraptor's madness. Walls warp and twist, and the very air hums with psychic energy. It's as if the dungeon itself is alive, a grotesque extension of the Mind Guardian's deranged will.
So, Malek, have you come to fail the circle once more? Leave, Paladin. I do not need your protection. Come, Kain. Come, share my pain.
At the end of the labyrinth lies the heart of the madness, the lair of Nopraptor himself. Kain's confrontation with the Mind Guardian is imminent. The journey here has already cemented one truth. Nosgoth's corruption runs deeper than even Kain could have imagined.
So, this was the mentalist Nopraptor, this broken, pathetic little man. Yet crippled as he was, he would not yield without battle. Very well, old fool. If it is death you seek, I will not deny you.
The fight is a battle of endurance and strategy. Nopraptor assaults Kain with waves of psychic energy, summoning twisted minions to swarm the arena. His abilities force Kain to stay nimble, dodging attacks while delivering calculated strikes. It's not just a test of strength, it's a test of Kain's growing mastery of his vampiric powers. Every blow Kain lands feels like a victory against the madness that plagues Nosgoth. Nopraptor's shrieks echo with pain and despair, a reminder that even the Guardians are victims of this corruption. But Kain shows no mercy. His goal is clear, and the Pillars demand restoration. With one final strike, Nepraptor falls. His death brings a grim sense of satisfaction. Another step toward restoring Nosgoth. But as the Mind Guardian's lifeless body collapses, Kain is reminded that this is only the beginning. The corruption runs deep, and each Guardian will be more dangerous than the last. Nepraptor's defeat marks the first victory in Kain's grim quest. The Pillar of Mind begins to heal, its energy no longer tainted by madness. But Kain knows the road ahead will demand even greater sacrifices, both from himself and the lands he seeks to save.
I placed Nepraptor's head before the Pillar of the Mind, and watched on as it dissolved into the stone. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored. Nepraptor was but the genesis. Forever tainted by his madness, the circle was beyond redemption. For them, absolution lay only in death. In me, they would find their deliverance. But first I had to defeat their shepherd. Malek, defender of the Nine, lay in a keep to the far north, past Vassabunt. It was time for me to test the wrath of the Pillar of Conflict.
Death in the circle breathes life to the pillars. For every pillar, there is a token. Only with these shall they be restored. But to reach a warrior, you must first breach his ward. Find Malek and destroy him. Only then will the circle fall.
With the Pillar of Mind restored, Kain's path now leads him northward, toward the next target. Malek, the guardian of the Pillar of Conflict. Malek is a warrior, a fierce and honorable knight, corrupted by the very essence of war and violence he once upheld. His domain, a fortress of cold stone and bloodstained memories, reflects the turmoil that rages on within him. Unlike Nepraptor, whose madness consumed him from within, Malek's corruption is rooted in the endless cycle of battle and conflict. The northern lands are a reflection of this. Bitter, unforgiving, and hostile. It's a place where only the strong survive and the weak are swallowed whole by the storms of war. Malek's fortress looms ahead, a symbol of his twisted sense of honor, its walls forged in the heat of countless battles. But even here, in the heart of his domain, Kain senses the shift in the air. The battle to come will be one of strength, not just against Malek's might, but against the very ideals that have bound him to this war-torn existence. Kain knows that Malek will not be an easy target. His armor is as unyielding as his resolve, and his skill in combat is unmatched, but Kain is no longer the fledgling vampire who emerged from his tomb. With each step, he becomes more than a creature of vengeance. He is a force, an agent of change that Nosgoth can no longer ignore. Malek's fortress stands as a grim monument to war, its towering spires and stone walls a testament to the endless conflict that has shaped both the lands and its guardians. This dungeon is as unforgiving as its master, designed to test not only Kain's strength, but his very resolve. As he steps into the cold, battle-worn halls, the air is thick with a scent of blood and old wounds.
The towering metal structure gave birth to these wraiths. I could hazard only a guess at its function. Fusing the souls of long-dead warriors to their armor so that they may do battle once again. Life without blood? What a travesty!
The dungeon challenges more than just Kain's combat skills. Its design requires cunning and agility, forcing Kain to juggle enemies and complex environmental puzzles. The fortress feels alive, its very structure shifting to disorient and trap the intruder. It's clear this is not merely a place of battle. It's a reflection of Malek's own mind, forever trapped in the cycle of war.
The globe powered the machinery. With its destruction, the deafening shrieks of the machines ceased to echo throughout the bastion. It was now time to silence the machine's maker.
You try my patience, fledgling. Care to try my blade in...
'Cause that's the bottom line. 'Cause Stone Cold said so.
Stone cold. No warning, no mercy. Just a cold truth bomb dropped right in the middle of our narrative. I guess you gotta respect the timing, though. When you give chat the power to minimize your game, you gotta expect to get trolled sometimes. Well, let's go kill Malek. At last, Kain reaches the final chamber, a throne room of sorts, adorned with the trophies of war and the remnants of past battles. This is where Malek will make his stand, and where Kain's resolve will be tested to its limit. The cycle of conflict is about to come full circle, and Kain must decide whether he will conquer Malek, or become yet another casualty of Nosgoth's eternal war. This is it, the clash with Malek, the guardian of the Pillar of Conflict. From the moment he enters, clad in his gleaming impenetrable armor, it's clear this will not be an ordinary battle. Malek is no mere man. He is the embodiment of war, bound by duty and vengeance, and his relentless nature makes him one of the most dangerous foes Kain has yet faced. As the fight rages on, it becomes clear that Malek is more than a mere soldier. He is the embodiment of war itself. With a sudden shift in the battle, he unleashes a devastating beam of pure energy, a weapon of such immense power that even Kain cannot hope to withstand it. Faced with certain death, Kain has no choice but to retreat. The raw force of Malek's attack shakes the very foundation of the fortress, leaving Kain no room for bravado. This is not a fight he can win. Not yet. Survival becomes his only goal.
It would seem Malek's destiny with my blade was postponed. Perhaps Ariel could offer further guidance. High upon the face of these cliffs, hidden amongst the complex network of caves, the underground sanctity of the wise Oracle of Nosgoth lay sleeping. Perhaps it was time to brave the winds and seek out this oracle.
Defeated but not broken, Kain returns to the Pillars of Nosgoth, seeking guidance once more. The ancient structures stand as both symbols of order and reminders of the corruption that plague the land. Each crack in their surface mirrors the fractures in Nosgoth itself, a land on the brink of ruin.
Ah, the Lord returns empty-handed. Does the Seraphim elude you? Very well, go east of Malek's bastion. The Oracle shall give you aid.
With new purpose and a faint glimmer of direction, Kain turns his attention eastward, beyond Malek's bastion, to the mysterious Oracle. The Pillars have spoken, guiding him to seek the ancient figure who may hold the knowledge he requires to continue his quest. Curse overthinking. A fate even Kain can't escape. Here I was throwing everything I had at this problem. Spells, random lever pulling, aimless pacing. Surely the solution had to be some ancient, intricate secret hidden within Nosgoth's lore or something, right? Maybe an upgrade I missed. Nope. Turns out all I needed to do was break some stones with the mace. Sweet. That was a big waste of time. But here, we skipped all of it for you guys. Thanks. The journey east is perilous. The lands grow colder, harsher, as if resisting Kain's passage. Yet the promise of answers drives him forward. Who is this oracle? A sage, a seer, or perhaps another pawn in the tangled web of Nosgoth's corruption? As the biting winds rise, Kain's resolve hardens. The oracle may hold the key to understanding the Pillars, the Guardians, and the ultimate fate of Nosgoth itself. And Kain, ever the pragmatist, will stop at nothing to uncover the truth, even if it means forging alliances with forces beyond his comprehension.
A nobleman, seeking wisdom. Death has taught you well.
Enough philosophy. I seek answers.
Answers indeed. I have them all if you have the questions. And what are the questions for these answers? King Atmar, the only hope to defeat the legions of the Nemesis. King Atmar, paralyzed by his princess's malaise. King Atmar, the useless. Pray, good sir, what are the questions?
A pox upon your tricks and babble, old man. Answer me this. Who is Malek, and how can I defeat him?
All in time, Sirrah. Yes, time. Unless you master it, it will master you. And now it's time for your answer. Malek, defender of the Nine, and last of the Seraphim sorcerer priests. His vanity led to the slaughter of the Circle at the hands of the vampire Vorador. For his failing, his spirit was fused to a hellish set of magical armor. He has allowed no member of the Circle to fall since.
What of this Vorador?
Follow the glow of the Ignis Fatuus to the Termagant Forest.
Ignis Fatuus?
The Ignis Fatuus lights the path to hell, nobleman. Your path. Time, Kain? Next time.
I was ready for a fight. The Oracle, enigmatic and cryptic as ever, offer Kain a clue to his next destination. To find Vorador, a name shrouded in whispers and legend. Kain must follow the glow of the Ignis Fatuus, the ghostly lights that dance through the swamps of Nosgoth. Vorador's manor, a place of both splendor and terror. Hidden deep within Nosgoth swamps, this opulent stronghold looms like a monument to vampiric decadence. Its red and gold decor speak of wealth and power, but the manor's beauty is deceptive. Beneath its grandeur lies a labyrinth of traps and thralls, each corner to test Kain's cunning and resolve. The thralls within these walls are relentless, their soulless obedience to Vorador a constant reminder of the ancient vampire's might. The traps, cruel and precise, seem designed to toy with intruders as much as to eliminate them. Yet Kain navigates the danger with a calculated determination, the promise of answers driving him forward. The manor's grandeur is intoxicating, its red and gold tones evoking both vitality and bloodshed, symbols of Vorador's rule over his domain. Every room tells a story, and every shadow hints at the presence of the vampire lord itself. Within the treacherous halls of Vorador's manor, amidst the traps and thrall, Kain uncovers a new power, a devastating AoE spell. The spell, a manifestation of vampiric dominance, channels Kain's dark magic into a surge of crimson energy, draining the life from all who dare stand against him. The spell carried me hard throughout most of my playthrough. Never played it, the spell's awesome. And at last, Kain reaches the heart of the manor. Here, amidst the splendor and carnage, waits Vorador, a creature as ancient and enigmatic as Nosgoth itself. The meeting of these two figures, both bound by darkness, promises to reshape Kain's understanding of his place in this fractured world.
His castle, his keep. In the bowels of that black forest, I found something worse than hell. A vision of what I was becoming.
It's not often I see one of our own, especially one as young and foolish as yourself. Nonetheless, drink. Drink deep and indulge your gift.
Gift? Vorador thought my curse a blessing. That we were gods. That mortals offered their blood as sacrifice so that we could enjoy our supernatural powers. And somewhere, deep inside my new self, I knew he was right. That mortal dreams were prayers. Prayers to us, begging us for power. I pondered this as the decadent old fool prattled on about his past. A boorish account of how he defeated Malek of the Seraphim and took his vengeance upon the Circle of Nine for supporting the Sarafin holy war to exterminate us.
Call your dogs! They can feast on your corpses! After slaughtering 6 of the sheep, I defeated their pathetic little shepherd, Malek. Since then, our kind has not bothered with the cattle, except to feed. And I suggest you do the same. Meddling with the affairs of man can do us no good. Seraphan witch hunts are much too tedious to concern ourselves with. Am I understood, Kain? Good. Take this ring. If you ever need assistance, it will summon me. Despite your youthful arrogance, you amuse me, Kain. It would be such a pity to lose you to the abyss. Now be gone!
My visit with Voida only strengthened my resolve. His power, uncontested by mortals, he had fallen to another enemy. Decadence has claimed itself many a great warrior.
A triad congregates at the roof of the world, Kain. A plot to twist the land, to shape the world. North is where your vengeance lies.
Fuck. Dark Eden, a place where Nosgoth's corruption is laid bare. Here, nature itself is warped into an abomination, a reflection of madness consuming the land. Kain marches forward, his resolve unshaken, ready to confront the unknown and unravel the secrets hidden within this blighted domain. As we cross the threshold, we know our quest will test us in ways we have yet to imagine. But for answers, for power, for Nosgoth, we will face whatever horrors wait within. Here, the boundaries of creation have been broken, reshaped by madness that creates to defy even the gods themselves. Every step through Dark Eden feels like a descent deeper into a living hell. The creatures of Dark Eden are abominations, grotesque amalgamations of flesh and magic. Their forms defy reason, their movements unsettling. Each battle here is not merely a test of strength, but a fight against the sheer audacity of their existence.
The sorcerer's sanctuary, his laboratory. Inside was all manner of items arcane. Pickled bodies, dissected corpses, both man and beast, and metal construct that heaved arcs of energy into the air. I sensed more than one force being manipulated in this place. Strange. Rarely did a sorcerer condescend to work with others.
Every corner of Dark Eden hums with malevolence. Every shadow hides a threat. It is a place where hope dies and nightmares thrive. A fitting background for one who seeks to reshape Nosgoth's destiny.
Ah, not one, but 3. Dejul the Energist, Bane the Druid, and Anakroth the Alchemist. How considerate of them to hasten my search.
So the Scourge of the Circle has arrived!
Fear him not, Bane. He is but a whelp. His soul is ours for the taking.
Don't be ridiculous. Malek to our aid.
Damn you, Alchemist. I had not come this far only to have my quarry escape.
Vengeance. Vengeance for my eternity of suffering.
Whelp! As if you knew what eternity was. Grovel before your true master!
Never. I'll hack you from crotch to gizzard and feed what's left to your brides.
As Vorador clashed against Malek, I gave pursuit to the fleeing wizards, Dejul and Bane. I danced their dance. When the time came, they would dance upon my sword.
His magic is weak! He is an affront to nature itself! It is our duty to purify him!
Facing Bane and Dejul, two of Nosgoth's most dangerous wizards, Vorador confronts Malek in a battle of his own. Kain's destiny remains in his hands, and he must defeat these two to advance his path. Bane, a creature of nightmares, and Dejul, a master of dark magics, are formidable foes. Their alliance, born from shared ambitions and bloodlust, poses a true threat to Kain's progress. Together, they have carved their own place in Nosgoth's history, but now they stand in Kain's way. Bane is relentless, his monstrous form practically impervious to conventional attacks, but Kain, empowered by his flesh armor and his dark magics, strike with precision, exploiting every opening in Bane's terrifying defense. Dejul, with her command over dark sorcery, turns the battlefield into a chaotic nightmare. Her spells warp the very air around Kain, forcing him to adapt on the fly, using his blood magic and newfound powers to overcome her deadly traps. After a long, grueling battle, Kain prevails. Bane and Dejul, once masters of their own twisted domain, are no more. Their defeat paves the way for Kain to continue his journey, but the echoes of their power linger in the air, a reminder of the challenges yet to come.
I found Malek's helmet amongst the scattered remnants of his armor, whole and intact. Vorador had finally laid his old adversary to rest.
Triumphant, Kain returns to the pillars, the relics of Bane, Dejul, and Malek now in his grasp. With each victory, Kain grows stronger, his resolve more unshakable. These relics, once symbols of power and corruption, now serve as keys to Nosgoth's fate.
The helmet of Malek I placed before the Pillar of Conflict. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored. The act had taken on the feel of ritual. Isn't it strange how we must bribe our gods to stay? At the foot of the energy pillar, I set the cloak of Dejul. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored. The antler headdress of the druid Bane I lay before the nature pillar. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored.
You must seek Azimuth the Planar at the heart of Avernus. 3 instruments await you to aid you in your quest. But first, you must rise, and you must fall, and find your salvation in between.
After returning the relics to the shrine, Kain's path takes him to Avernus, a city long lost to time and corruption. Once a place of great significance, Avernus now lies in ruin, its streets shrouded in fog and its buildings haunted by a twisted silence. The air is thick, with the weight of something terrible that lingers in the shadows.
The city was paved in blood and flesh. Yet what would have appalled me in life only tempted me in death. Once I would have felt horror, now only hunger remained.
As Kain pushes deeper into Avernus, the atmosphere grows darker. The ground seems to pulse with an unnatural energy, a byproduct of the city's fall into ruin. Strange creatures, twisted by the corruption, stand in Kain's way, their only purpose to stop him from reaching the cathedral. But Kain, empowered by the relics and his growing strength, presses forward. Finally, Kain reaches the cathedral, the heart of Avernus, and the location where Azimuth resides. But it is clear that this place has been twisted by the very corruption that consumed the city. The cathedral, once sacred halls, now echo with whispers, a place where the boundaries between life and death are no longer clear. Alright folks, quick time out here, because here pretty soon you're going to see something and it might confuse you. On my channel we do what's called a Wheel of Pain, and if you redeem it, get a bunch of different things to choose my fate in certain situations, also known as this. So yeah, you may see a couple clips with me wearing this right now, but hey, you know, we just like to horse around, I guess. So but anyway, here's a couple highlights from us goofing off or horsing around, I'm not sure. Yeah, enjoy those clips real quick. Nay, you should not love it. Nay. I hate it here. I fucking hate it here. Now that the nascence of the horse mask is behind us, God, that's so bad, we return to the task at hand, navigating through the cathedral in search of Azimuth and the relic they carry. The cathedral, a once sacred place now overrun with corruption, looms ahead, its ominous silence broken only by the echoes of our footsteps. The air here is thick with dark energy, and every corner seems to conceal something deadly. As Kain steps deeper into the heart of Avernus, the cathedral's vast halls feel both grand and suffocating. Here, the fate of Nosgoth may very well be decided. Monstrous enemies, corrupted by the dark forces at play, stand in Kain's way, but nothing will deter him. He presses forward, his senses focused on Azimuth. As Kain ventures deeper into the cathedral, he comes across a powerful artifact, the Soul Reaver. This legendary blade, drenched in both mystery and dark power, is said to be the key to unlocking even greater strength and potential. It pulses with energy unlike any Kain has encountered before, drawing him closer to its grasp.
Time fades even legend, and the origin of Soul Reaver has been lost long ago. But its purpose remains, to feed on the souls of any creature it strikes. Kindred, this blade and I.
In addition to the Soul Reaver, Kain finds another powerful artifact within the cathedral, the Wraith Armor. This ethereal suit of armor, shimmering with dark energy, offers Kain not just protection, but a transformation that aligns with his new dark power.
This armor was spawned in the most impure of spirit forges, tempered from the seething agony of tortured souls. The metal exists only partially in the human realm, causing it to fade between tangible and ethereal states.
As Kain steps into the chamber just before his confrontation with Azimuth, he is met with a breathtaking sight. A stained glass ceiling that bathes the room in hues of red and gold. This isn't just decorative. The art depicts the fateful battle between Malek, the zealous guardian, and Vorador, the ancient vampire lord.
Ah, what's this? I had not even realized the blade and the raiment were here. You wear those trinkets well, Kain, but I do believe that they would look better on me.
The matriarch of Avernus, the Lady Azimuth. Her magical planing skills summon demons through runes inscribed in human blood.
The battle with Azimuth begins with a cacophony of chaos. The matrion of Avernus wastes no time summoning hordes of demons to do her bidding, while she watches from the safety of her spells. But Kain is no mere pawn to be overwhelmed. He comes prepared. Using the barrier spell, Kain turns her magic against her, shielding himself from harm and closing the gap between them. The key to this fight isn't to be distracted by her minions, it's to strike directly at Azimuth herself. With the Soul Reaver in hand, Kain delivers blow after blow, ignoring the chaos around him. Each strike weakens her hold over the demons, her summoning faltering as her own strength dwindles. With Azimuth defeated, the demons remain, snarling and snapping in the chaos of their summoning. But Kain has no interest in cleaning up her mess. His eyes are set on the true prize. Claiming the eye of Azimuth, Kain walks away, leaving the cathedral and its demonic remnants behind. For him, this battle is over. The relic is his now, and the next step in his quest awaits. With Azimuth's relic in hand, Kain discovers the time-streaming device, a tool of unimaginable power, capable of bending the threads of time itself. But there's no time to dwell on its mysteries. At the pillars, Kain learns of a looming threat. The armies of the Nemesis march south, threatening to engulf Nosgoth in blood, fire. His path now leads to the city of Willendorf.
I'm in a cutscene. Get out of here. Shades of my former existence, proud and self-absorbed, surrounded by all the finery of the realm, secure in their ignorance. As I walked among them, I smirked, thinking of the carnage that would befall them at the hands of the legions of the Nemesis, the glorious flames, and the inevitable rape and pillage. Out of my way, peasant! The stench of the fields hangs over you like a pall.
The king sees no one. He is in mourning for the princess.
He'll be in mourning for his kingdom soon, and he'll mourn for you even sooner if you don't get out of my way! And so I won my audience, such as it was, with Otmar. He cared not for the invading armies from the north, only of the plight of his child.
Her birthday present. To celebrate her birthday, I declared a contest. Whoever created the finest doll in the realm would be granted a royal favor. Hundreds of dolls were brought, but the winner was obvious. Elzevir the doll maker created a toy of such beauty that all were captivated by it. And all he would take in payment was a lock of her hair. Soon after, she became like this, a lifeless puppet. Whoever restores her to her former self shall have this kingdom.
Thus, my hunt for the doll maker began.
In Willendorf, Kain encounters a broken king, consumed by sorrow. His daughter's soul has been stolen by a sinister doll maker, her life reduced to a twisted mockery. Desperate for vengeance, the king offers up his kingdom to anyone who can bring him the doll maker's head. Determined to claim the king's prize, Kain uncovers a secret entrance within the castle. Hidden passages and forgotten corridors lead him to Stallenberg, where the doll maker awaits. Kain's journey continues, each step bringing him closer to vengeance and power. As Kain steps out of the tunnels, the stark reality of Nosgoth's plight comes into view. The snow fortress before him lies in ruin, overrun by the relentless army of the Nemesis. Undeterred, Kain carves a path through the invading forces, his strength and resolve unmatched. His journey leads him to Stallenberg, but here too the devastation is absolute. The village has fallen, its streets littered with the lifeless bodies of its people. A grim testament to the Nemesis' growing power. Kain knows he must act quickly. The dollmaker must be found if he is to secure the king's army and stand against this tide of destruction. To the northwest lies the answer, Elzevir. The sinister dollmaker waits in his mansion. Kain pushes forward, the frigid air and bleak landscape doing little to slow his march. Each step is a reminder of the stakes. A kingdom's army and Nosgoth's fate hang in the balance. Elzevir's mansion exudes an air of dread, its halls draped in shadows and filled with his twisted creations. These malevolent dolls imbued with dark magic block Kain's path at every turn, forcing him to rely on his wits and with the spirit rack spell to manipulate and destroy them. The mansion itself is a sinister labyrinth designed to confuse and delay. Every corner is riddled with traps and eerie lifelike dolls, making each step more perilous than the last. But Kain presses on, undeterred, until he finally confronts the dollmaker in his inner sanctum.
Dollmaker, I have no time for these games.
The soul is mine! I earned it! Otmar gave it to me!
Then you shall earn it with blood.
You shall not have it! Mine! Mine! Mine!
Elzevir reveals himself, a grotesque figure embodying the mansion's twisted nature. Kain's strategy echoes his battle with Azimuth, using spells and decisive strikes to overcome the dollmaker's defenses.
What an odd little man. Now, to find the soul.
With Elzevir defeated, Kain claims the stolen doll, an object of immense importance to Willendorf's grieving king. His mission now complete, Kain leaves the mansion one step closer to commanding the king's great army.
I entered the court with the dollmaker's head in one hand and the doll containing the girl's soul in the other. I placed them both before the king and watched his eyes catch fire. With the doll in their possession, the court's sorcerers could restore his daughter's soul.
I do not know that I can thank you enough, warrior. My kingdom is but a small price to pay for my daughter's life. Willendorf is yours if you wish it.
'Tis not your kingdom I desire, but your army, Otmar. I require troops to vanquish the horde that descends upon us from the north.
Very well. Courtiers, fetch me my armor and mace. There is war to be waged!
The scourge of Nosgoth is upon us, friends. We shall die today as heroes, lest we live tomorrow as slaves. Ready thine arms for Nosgoth!
With Elsvir's head and the cursed all return, the king fulfills his promise, rallying his army to march against the advancing foes of the Nemesis. Kain joins the battlefield, cutting through waves of soldiers with brutal efficiency. The clash is relentless, steel meeting steel, blood soaking the earth. Yet amidst the chaos, Kain becomes separated from the main forces.
Would you stand idle as vermin destroy your crops? No! As your house burned? No! Will you allow this evil to continue? No! Will the wickedness end? Yes! Do you believe? Yes! Yes! Then take me to your king, so that I can prepare you for the onslaught.
As fate would have it, Kain is suddenly torn from the battlefield, transported 50 years into the past. Here, he faces a pivotal moment in Nosgoth's history. To thwart the rise of the Nemesis, Kain must confront and defeat the man who would become him, William the Just. This single act could change the course of history and perhaps even save Nosgoth from its grim fate. Kain arrives at the stronghold of William the Just, a fortress bristling with defenses and loyal soldiers. Cutting his way through the ranks, he witnesses a chilling conversation between William and Mobius the Time Streamer, two minds conspiring to alter the fate of Nosgoth.
Yes, these weapons you've provided will see to that. Pray tell, Mobius, what game do you play?
None, my lord. I only wish to aid you in vanquishing your foes. The weapons are but a token of my goodwill.
And the news you bring, a vampire sent to slay me? Where did you come upon such knowledge?
'Tis of no consequence, sire. 'Twas only out of concern for your majesty's life.
Perhaps. Very well then. You may leave me now, but should I wish to speak to you...
I will know, your majesty, and I shall be there.
Within the stronghold, Kain stumbles upon a moment of treachery. Mobius, ever the manipulator, has warned William of Kain's arrival and gifted him with the Soul Reaver, a blade of immense power to face the vampire's assault. Their plotting echoes through the chamber, solidifying the weight of the challenge ahead.
Ah, yes, the vampire. Mobius told me you would come.
William the Just, emboldened by Mobius's foresight and armed with the legendary blade, proves a formidable adversary. Every strike of the Soul Reaver hums with deadly precision. But Kain, no stranger to battle, wields his own Soul Reaver and magic to devastating effect. The duel is fierce, but ultimately William succumbs to Kain's relentless assault. With William defeated and Mobius's plans temporarily unraveled, Kain seizes another time-streaming device. As the ancient machinery stirs to life, Kain is hurled back to his own time. Yet, as he surveys the world upon his return, it is clear his actions have irrevocably changed the course of history.
We are free of this unholy scourge!
Not yet, my friend. Would you be free of the plague if only one city was cleansed? No! Would you spare one wolf in the pack that has devastated your herd? No! Then let us destroy them all! Yes! He is the last! Destroy him!
I had been betrayed. In my haste, I had not realized it before. That sigil on his forehead, the Oracle of Nosgoth, was in fact the time streamer Mobius, and I had followed his advice. How much of my quest was of his design? Willendorf? The Battle of the Last Stand? William the Just? Was this the trap he had fashioned for me?
We will send you back to the grave, whence you came, vampire.
With Mobius' true identity laid bare, Kain's purpose is clear. The deceiver, the time streamer himself, must be eradicated to restore balance to Nosgoth and the Pillars. Mobius' manipulation have cost Kain dearly, and now vengeance guides his blade. The once thriving city now lies in ruin. Overrun by Mobius' machinations, every step forward feels like a reckoning as Kain cuts through soldiers and the remnants of Mobius' influences. Fueled by rage and a thirst for justice, Kain pushes deeper into the stronghold of a man who twisted time itself to torment him. At the end of the road, Kain is confronted with a twisted reflection of himself, a doppelganger summoned to test his strength and resolve. It is not merely a foe, but a mockery designed to challenge the very essence of his power. The battle is fierce, each strike of Kain's blade met with an equally ferocious counter. His magic is mirrored, his movements predicted, creating a grueling test of endurance and strategy. But Kain, ever relentless, proves himself superior. With cunning and sheer will, he defeats the specter of himself, reclaiming his dominance. Hit him with a soul reaver.
Ironic. By going back in time and altering the past, you turn William the Just into the Nemesis.
Aye, you have seen my plan, vampire, as I've seen your destiny. The future says you die.
But I am dead. As are you.
With Mobius' hourglass now in his possession, Kain returns to the Pillars of Nosgoth. The artifact, a symbol of the time streamer's deceit and manipulation, holds the power to reshape Nosgoth's fate. Each step toward the Pillars echoes with the weight of Kain's journey, the battles fought and the truths uncovered.
You betrayed us, Mortanius. You had Kain killed and turned him into a monster. You set him upon us.
It had to be. Nopraptor's insanity poisoned all of our minds. The Circle had failed in its sworn duties. It had to be destroyed.
Failed our duties? Idiot! The Circle exists for us. We don't exist for it. Our powers will save or damn Nosgoth at our whim. Stand with us, Mortanius, or die.
Then I shall die.
If the Circle is to be destroyed, you have to die as well, Necromancer. I admire your cunning, but you will not escape your fate.
Nay, I will embrace it, but my death will leave one more to take, Princeling. Finish me!
At the Pillars, Kain is confronted by Mortanius, the final guardian standing between him and the restoration of Nosgoth. Once a healer and protector, Mortanius has succumbed to the corruption he once sought to cure. With dark magic and relentless summons, he unleashes his full might in a desperate bid to stop Kain. Despite Mortanius' strength, Kain's resolve cannot be broken. Blow after blow, spell after spell, Kain forces the Necromancer to his knees. But as Mortanius falls, his true form is revealed.
What the? You thought yourself a king, when in fact you were a pawn. You have served me well, Kain.
I serve no one.
Indeed, such narrow vision. Don't you see? My silencing of Ariel and its calculated repercussions is but the first act in my theater of Grand Guignol. You are the tragic hero. Play on, little vampire. Play on.
Ve Victus!
The battle reaches its climax as Kain hunts the dark entity through space and shadow. With precise strikes and unyielding determination, he finally destroys the creature, severing the corruption at its root.
I am the last pillar, the only survivor of the Circle of Nine. At my whim, the world will be healed or damned. At my whim.
Yet the battle's end brings not clarity, but a choice. Before Kain lies an opportunity to restore the pillars and heal Nosgoth, but at a personal cost that would demand the ultimate sacrifice. The fate of the realm now rests on Kain's decision, a decision that will shape the future of Nosgoth forever.